Yo, I'm trying that again. Yo, what's going on, man? Today is March the 28th. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, top of the morning. I know I'm doing the show a little bit later today than I typically do. I just had some things I had to get done this morning. So delayed the show just a little bit. Hopefully the normal people are still able to catch the show. Try to do it early so people can get just a general consensus of what I'm looking at for today. So we will jump into it. Some of these lines are moving. Some of them have moved already. And if you have not made a bet yet, we are in the same group. I have not made a bet yet either. A couple lines I definitely missed, but we'll talk about it. So let's jump into it. Real quick recap. A lot of things I talked about yesterday. I only bet two, and that was the Lakers first quarter. They came out, laid an egg pretty much in the first quarter. I did bet this. I sent it out pretty late, so I hope people didn't get a chance to put it in actually. They won the second quarter, got smoked in the first quarter. We all know how the game ended yesterday. And then OKC team total under, not OKC, I'm sorry. This was not Oklahoma City. My apologies. This is not OKC team total. This was, because OKC did go over their team total. This was Memphis team total is what that should say. And that was a sweaty winner until the fourth quarter started. So they did get the job done yesterday. OKC's defense locked up in the fourth quarter. 1 in 1 day. I did make a little bit of profit because the Memphis bet was a bigger bet than the Lakers in the first quarter. So a little bit of a profitable day, not much if I'm being honest. And then as far as the short list yesterday, a couple things right, a couple things wrong. Like Dallas plus the points, that was a winner. The over was a loser. The Pacers over 123.5. I think they had that at the end of the third quarter. San Antonio, Cleveland up and over 238.5 was a winner. Atlanta, Miami under was a loser. OKC minus 10 a winner. Houston minus 13 loser. Houston did get up and over their team total though, and Sacramento got smoked last night against the Portland. Portland got smoked last night against the Sacramento Kings. So just a real quick recap. Let's jump into a couple comments and we'll get into it for today. G. Hurst says, I don't know if I can handle another Lakers game. My goodness. My goodness. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it, man. Don't want to talk about it. We'll just say if the slate was a little bit smaller, I'd give you a story time about the game last night, but the slate is big today and I don't want to I want to kind of get to the game, but yeah, it was a crazy game last night. What up, man? It's the top of the morning. I need more games like that. Yesterday was peak sports all around. Likes it. Okay. Marquis says rise and grind. 1 in 5 NBA night, 2 and 2 in college basketball. Let's bounce back today. Orlando can't win games with a backcourt. Just scoring a combined 6 points. That's a fact, Marquis. That's why another reason why I liked Dallas plus the points last night. Jaden Hardy could be the best guard on Orlando Magic, and he plays off the bench, limited minutes. Their guard play is so bad. It's so bad, and it's not a shot to Anthony Black. They don't have Jalen Suggs, of course, but yeah, it's really bad. Marquis, I agree with that. Let's see. Jared says NBA saved my 0-2 my baseball start. How we feeling about the Pistons? We'll talk about that in just a second. What else? What up, Brian? Says tough night last night. Lakers complete, fantastic. Last night until the last minute. Brian, you don't see that very often. Couple mistakes on him. Let's get it tonight though. Yeah, 3 mistakes on Brian. I mean, I guess you could say 2, but yeah, Giddey hit the shot in his face as well. So yeah, it was all bad last night for the Lakers in the final 10 seconds of the game, 12 seconds of the game. What up, Justin? Good morning, Jose. What up, user? What up, Joe? Appreciate you for tapping in. Helping hands. Good morning. What up, PZ? What up, Wolves? Says good morning, Chris from the Discord. I ain't been in the Discord in a month, and feels like a month probably. My own Discord. I have not been in there. Just been busy, man. Been busy. Says 4 consecutive winning nights in basketball. Detroit today. We'll talk about it. What up, Marcus? What up, Reem? I know Reem was hurt last night. I was too, Reem. LBA says, what up, Chris and Cappinn family? Today's going to be a good one. Good morning, Swish. Good morning, GLB. Good morning, Tariq. Definitely came back and bit him last night. Karma got him super quick. Back-to-back nights, man. Malik says, talk about it. Nah, I ain't talking about it, Malik. I'm not talking about it, bro. Good morning, Nayeli. She says, riding with the Bulls, paying off student loans. Giddy up. Staying on until the playoffs. Yeah, The Bulls it's a crazy story for the Bulls right now, man. I told you guys I wasn't betting against them last night, but yeah, that's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. What up, Mark? Appreciate you for tapping in. Burns, shout out to RVA in the building. Appreciate you, Burns. Good morning, Charles. Let's jump into it for today. So we'll start off with JaXon as we always do. I think JaXon, who was JaXon on yesterday? I'm not doing the greatest job of keeping up with what JaXon looks at. I was actually looking at JaXon for some baseball stuff. I didn't play anything. So JaXon liked the over last night between the Pacers and the Wizards. That was a clear over. I think the Pacers almost scored 250 points by themselves. So that was a winner, over 234.5. And JaXon liked Paolo Banchero over his 3-point prop at 1.5. Was juiced at minus 159. It also liked Najee Marshall up and over his points plus rebounds. And I do want to double check. I think I gave you guys the Najee play yesterday. So Najee was listed at 22.5 points plus assists. Najee finished with 6. So he came back down to earth in a tough way. 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. So that was a loser. So it looks like a 1-1 day for JaXon. Today's prompt for JaXon, and check it out if you're interested. There's a discount code in the description of the video where you can save yourself some coin if you want to check out some AI sports betting model. Today's prompt was, I got 2 again for you guys. So the first one is player prop, right? Based on last 10 game hit rate. It likes Derrick Jones Jr. up and over his points prop for the Clippers tonight. Up and over 7.5 points. Says he's hitting 9 of his last 10 games, averaging 10.7 points. The Brooklyn Nets do rank 12th defensively against his position. So kind of neutral matchup for him on the season. He's gone up and over 7.5 in 73% of his games, averaging 10.4 points. And then he's over. So the best number is actually available on DraftKings at minus 115 right now. Derrick Jones Jr. is what JaXon likes today as far as player prop goes. The other prop that I asked, or prompt that I should say prompt that I put into JaXon is the total. What is the single best NBA total on the board today in the NBA based on the last 10 game advanced stats? And JaXon likes the over between the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz. It says that the Jazz and Nuggets have consistently been involved in higher scoring games. The Jazz have gone over in 6 of their last 10. Nuggets have played over in 7 of their last 10. Combined, these teams are averaging 240.1 points per game over their last 10 games, which aligns with this total, which is where this total is set. Advanced stats, both teams ranked top 10 in pace last 10 games, with the Nuggets 4th, the Jazz 7th. The fast tempo creates more scoring opportunities. The Nuggets are 6th in offensive efficiency, while the Jazz are 10th. Ensuring consistent scoring on both sides. Defensively, both teams have struggled. The Jazz are 27th, and the Nuggets are 25th in defensive efficiency in their last 5 games. The Jazz perimeter defense has been a significant weakness, ranking 28th in opponent 3-point percentage. This aligns with the Nuggets' ability to score from deep, led by their sharpshooters. The Nuggets' interior defense has been inconsistent, allowing the Jazz big men to dominate in the paint. So JaXon likes over 239.5, minus 112 on FanDuel right now. And JaXon also likes Derrick Jones Jr. up and over his 7.5 points as far as player props today. So take those, research them a little bit more if you want to. And if you like them, play them. Let's jump into it for today. So first game we got up is the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Detroit Pistons. This line has come all the way crashing, all the way down to 5 now. Total open 231.5, and it's come all the way down to 228. It looked like it's consensus. There's some 227.5s out here as well. So shop around if you do like the total. I end up staying off for the game because just the number just came down a tad bit too much. So if you haven't been paying attention or you didn't see the news, we actually talking about this on Kyle's show yesterday afternoon. Really like Detroit in this spot a lot. This line opened with Detroit getting 9. I wrote down 9 in my notes yesterday. I think DraftKings had the number early, and I'm just waiting to see if the Cleveland Cavaliers head coach is going to rest anybody. And I'm like just waiting for the news. I'm like looking at the other games last night, and I don't see anything. I don't see anything about anybody being rested. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, maybe somebody will be rested. And the line starts to drop to 8.5. It starts to drop to 8. And I still don't bet it. And then I wake up this morning, it's at 7. And now it's all the way down to 5. So did I miss the best of the number? Yes. Do I think Detroit is the right side? I absolutely do. So getting into the matchup, they will be without Detroit will be without Cade today. He will continue to miss time. We got to see what happens with Cleveland. I'm guessing Evan Mobley returns after missing a day. Not sure about Ty Jerome. He missed the game last night. Cleveland could rest some other players as well, with it being, a pretty bad situational spot for them here, having to travel on the second leg of a back-to-back. So looking into the matchup, if you do like Cleveland, it's a couple things to stand out. Detroit three-point defense has not been that great. We don't know all the Cavs want to do is shoot some threes. So if they get hot from the three-point line, which they struggled last night, you go back and look at DeAndre Hunter and Darius Garland, they shot a combined maybe like 5 for like 18 from the three-point line, maybe even 5 for 25 or something like that. It was something bad. But Cleveland has been good on the road. They're 23-13 against the spread on the road. They don't really have anything to play for, though. Detroit hasn't been covering numbers either. They're 4-5-1 against the number in their last 10, only 2-7 against the spread in their last 7. And Detroit has actually played the 5th easiest strength of schedule in the last 5 games. But you could argue that Cleveland has also played a pretty easy strength of schedule. They played the 20th easiest strength of schedule. But if you like Detroit, which, like I said, I do like Detroit. I didn't bet the game. The numbers come down a little bit too far for me, 2 possessions. Cleveland is just 1-4 against the spread before last night's game. So you can say 1-5 against the spread because they did not cover against San Antonio last night. Detroit has triple in-season revenge. Cleveland did cover the first of the first 2 meetings between these 2 teams earlier this season before Detroit got the last one. Detroit actually covered the last one. They lost the game by 3. They were getting 3.5 points. Now, of course, they had Cade in that game. But Cleveland has beaten Detroit 12 straight times. They're 12-0 straight up in the last 12 meetings between these 2 teams. So, something tells me Detroit, has this one circle. And I talk about the situational spot, but I didn't share with you all what it actually is and why it's such a terrible spot for Cleveland. They played 5 straight road games. Then they came home last night for 1 home game against San Antonio. And now with no rest, they got to travel to Detroit for a second leg of a back-to-back. And they played 8 of their last 10 games on the road. So it's clearly a Detroit spot. But without Cade, do I think they can still get the job done? I do. Did I bet it? No. For Detroit, situationally, this is their 3rd straight home game. So they haven't had to travel at all. 2 days of rest before the game. 2 days of rest compared to none. So it's definitely a Detroit spot. I just didn't bet it. And I feel stupid for not betting it because you could have got Detroit plus, like I said, +9 is what I saw. As far as the total goes, I do think it's a little bit more of an under game. Detroit offensively shouldn't be able to score the basketball as efficiently as they would with Cade Cunningham on the floor. The totals between these 2 teams are all 3 games have actually gone under so far this season. They're 9-1 to the under in the last 10 between these 2 in the head-to-head matchups. Totals are also 10-2 to the under in the last 12 matchups as well. So whenever these 2 teams see each other, it's typically defense. There's typically, pace being slowed. And Detroit, like I said, not necessarily that they've been covering all of them, but I think that they get up for this one, especially with Cleveland owning them for such a long time. Detroit is also just 2-5 against the number without Cade this season, but they have covered 2 of the last 3. So lean towards the Pistons. Am I getting the worst of the number? Yes. Did I bet it? No, because of that. Let's see if we have any thoughts on this one at all. Brian says Denver 3rd quarter tonight. He already know they're not gonna do anything in the first half. We'll talk about that game briefly. I honestly don't even want to talk about it. Switch says Detroit, no Cade is scary, but this is their statement game, and I agree with that. Pistons are at the crib today. I love us. What up, J-Man? Appreciate you for tapping in. Codes, good morning, bro. He says NBA been good last couple days. It's been so-so for me. I've been winning, not a lot. I haven't been betting a lot either. Like a lot of half-unit plays, 0.75 unit plays. I haven't played any big bets recently because of the uncertainty and the injury report. And it's the dog days of the NBA. It's only 10 games left before the playoffs start. So with the injury reports, like it's tough. It really is tough. What up, Chad? Appreciate you for tapping in. Prolific says, good morning, Chris. Hit a 2-legger on OKC last night. Love to hear that. Chad did get the +8 last night. Didn't think I'd wake up to +5, but I'll take it. Yeah. I saw a 9 last night, Chad, on DraftKings. A 9. I'm kicking myself for not playing. It was actually going to be my top bet of the day. And if you watched Kyle's show yesterday, we did talk about it. What up, Doms? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. As always, Pharrell says, good morning, everyone. Just dropping in. Pistons. I was looking for some Detroit basketball in the comments section. What up, Dex? Appreciate you for tapping in. GR says he got +6.5. I like it. Lingowick says Beasley over his points. 3 road straight home games also could hit late on his 3rd. Okay, I see it. Helper Hansen's crazy. I seen it at 9.5, and the all line was to plus 17.5, minus 300. Should have left it. Detroit spot, Brian says, but who's going to play? Injury report. Yeah, this line could come down even more if Cleveland rules somebody out, because they haven't ruled anybody out yet. Maybe live bet. Tariq says, what up, TC Bet? Says, I got Garland top point scorer at plus 380. Garland hit the game winner the last time that these two teams played, I'm pretty sure. And I want to say that Donovan Mitchell didn't play in that game, if my memory serves me correctly. I think so. I didn't look into player props in that one either. Maybe like during rebounds. I feel like Cleveland been giving up boards a lot. Not sure. I'm not going to just tell you anything. All right, let's go to the next one. We got the Hornets and the Raptors. Game will be played in Toronto tonight. This line open with Toronto. It's another one where it's almost like I had like paralysis last night. I'm looking at, I saw a 3 last night. This game opened at 3 when LaMelo first got rolled out, which we'll talk about in just a second. And it's like, I don't know why. I was like, I didn't bet it. I also knew that RJ Barrett wasn't going to play and Obaji wasn't going to be out. But I'm like, Toronto's still better than Charlotte. Like, maybe I should have put a little something on it. Now it's up to 5.5. It actually went all the way up to 7.5, and it's come back down to 5.5. And the total, of course, is sunk all the way down. This was at 222.5. It's all the way down to 216 now. So a lot of money coming in under, which makes sense without LaMelo being there. And RJ Barrett and Obaji is also going to miss the game. And I think that's it as far as injury report goes. So, yeah, I mean, pretty simple here. Like, it's Raptors or nothing. I'm not looking towards Charlotte. They have been god-awful. They do have a one-day rest advantage here. Toronto has traveled, I think, at least 10 straight games. So if you like the situational spot, that's a reason to like Charlotte. With the rest advantage, as road dogs, they are 0-3 straight up, but they have covered 2 of the 3 spreads. They're 2-0-1 against the number. That's all I could find for Charlotte. If you like Charlotte, that's all I got for you. If you like Toronto, it's a lot of things to like here. Charlotte, not a good road team, 16-18-1 against the number. They're 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. They haven't been covering games, and it's primarily because of their defense. It's been terrible, but their offense hasn't been good. Toronto has been taking care of these sucky teams. They also play really, really well at home, like just ATS-wise. They're 22-14-1 against the number at the crib. They've covered 7 of their last 10 games. They are just 5-4 straight up and against the spread as a home favorite. And that's, I think, was the slight hesitation here. But like I said, Charlotte, they're terrible, man. Bottom 10 offensive rated team on the full season, last 5 games as well. Toronto is the second best defensive rated team last 5 games. They're forcing the 4th most turnovers, and that could be problematic with Charlotte because they are a bottom 5 in protecting the basketball, coughing it up like a Halls as of late in their most recent games. And without LaMelo, probably turned it over even more. Charlotte also runs a ton of pick and roll, second most as far as frequency goes. Toronto is in the top half of the league, defending pick and roll as well. And I was looking into some trend numbers. And Toronto, when they're facing teams that they have a better record than, they typically smoke them. They do got a better record than the Charlotte Hornets. They're 8-1 against the number when they're facing a team that they have a better record than. And we saw some of these recent wins. They just beat the Nets this week. Smoked the Nets, beat the Nets by 30. Beat the Wizards as well. They beat the Jazz earlier this month. They also beat the Wizards earlier this month, but they also lost to the Wizards as well. But yeah, they typically beat these teams, and they typically win by about 8 or 9 points on average. So it's Toronto. Maybe a look towards. I think the under right now would probably. I don't think I would play the under, but like I couldn't talk anybody off a Charlotte team total under 105.5. Just a lot of value that's already been lost because the totals dropped so much already. You probably could have got this to like 108.5. So yeah, one of those nights where you probably wanted to have some CLV because some of these lines have moved a lot. Toronto is 6-3-1 to the under in their last 10 games. They're 5-3-1 to the under if they're a home favorite. Charlotte is 18-4 to the under as road dogs. Without LaMelo, they're 15-10 to the under as well. Those games are averaging 213 points, which is a little bit less than this total. Toronto's playing slow. Charlotte's playing slow. Charlotte's just not playing a lot of defense. So maybe a look to where Charlotte team total under, but I didn't bet this one. Just giving you guys my thoughts here. Let's see. Just quickly on that one. What's up, Sharon? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Cole says Jokic. We'll get to that game in a second. J-Man says he'll go Tobias Harris under his 15.5 points. He's under in 5 straight and only 1-6 to the over with no Cade. So for some reason, Tobias still can't do his job, even when he has more opportunity. Recently, it feels like what's my guy name? The little point guard that's nice. He just hasn't been in the rotation as much because they got Dennis Schroeder. What's my guy name? He's been hooping. I can't think of his name for whatever reason, but he's like the backup guard for Detroit. Little skinny point guard. He be hooping though. Just can't think of his name. What's his name? Sasser. Marcus Sasser. Appreciate you, J-Man. Marcus Sasser. That's what I was about to look it up. Yeah, Marcus Sasser's been hooping. He's been getting the run. We'll see if we get lines for him. We know that they give up points to guards, so couldn't talk you off. Let's see. Cal's got you on the over on this team. Yeah, I didn't bet him though. I didn't bet him. He was right. Cal was right on Miami over, and he was right on Orlando under, but I didn't bet either one of them. I'm glad I stayed off. But you are right, Stephen. He was right on those totals yesterday. I hope he bet him. Dom says he likes Raptors first half. Couldn't talk you off of that. They should definitely have a 3-point lead, a 1-possession lead here. Nally says a healthy Hornets team on rest. Hornets plus 5.5, sprinkle on the money line. Then fade them the next 3 games. That's how you bet on the Hornets. Not right now, Nally. I don't think I could do that. Best of luck if you do, though. What up, Smeezy? Brian says Charlotte Raptors, whoever wins the first quarter, bet the opposite, bet the other plus the points for the first half. But that I just will give you a headache. Yeah, I'm not betting this game, especially not twice. Real quick on the first quarter, though, this just triggered a thought. The Raptors have been really good in the first quarter. So if you want to, like maybe watch the first quarter of this game and then have to be able to turn it, be able to turn it off afterwards, the Raptors have been really good in the first quarter. Let's see. On the full season, they are the 6th best first quarter team. They're 41-31-1 against the number. Charlotte is the 4th worst first quarter team. They're 29-41-2 against the number. Last 10, the Toronto Raptors are actually the best first quarter team. They're 7-3 against the number. And the reason why I know this is because we talked about taking Brooklyn in the first quarter. I didn't bet it, but we talked about taking Brooklyn in the first quarter. Toronto smoked Brooklyn throughout the whole game. So it's never really competitive at all. And they dominated the first quarter. So Toronto, even without, like Bogdanovic is out there modified in lineups and resting people, but they still have enough. I mean, Scotty Barnes is still going to play. Quickly still going to be out there tonight, as we know of right now anyway. Jakob Poeltl's still going to be there. And then, like I said, they're the 2nd best defensive rated team last 5 games. So I couldn't talk anybody off Toronto first quarter or the first half, like Dom just said. All right, too much time on this game, man. I know y'all got some thoughts. I don't feel like reading all of them, if I'm being honest. GLB says he liked Jakob Poeltl double-double at plus 230. Couldn't talk you off. But yeah, it's Toronto, first half, full game, Charlotte team total under, something like that. Just not looking toward Charlotte. Next game, we got the Clippers and the Nets. This line is at 12. Last time I checked, it was anyway. And it's actually come back down. It was up. It was some 12.5s out there, and come back down to 12 now. I am very intrigued by this game. It's some ugly games on the board. I'm not always intrigued by all of them. This one caught my attention when I'm looking into it yesterday. So we start with the injury report. The Clippers, I think, will pretty much be at full strength. Yeah, their rotational players, starters, and bench will be available for this game. Brooklyn has Trent Watford listed as questionable. I think it's an illness. Zaire Williams is also listed as questionable. Not sure if he's going to give it a go. And Daron Sharp is already listed as out. Noah Clowney is probable as well. So Cam Johnson will be in. D'Angelo Russell will be in. You got Keon Johnson as well, and Nicholas Claxton. So I'm looking into the game yesterday. The first thing that jumps out to me is how bad the Brooklyn Nets lost the last time that they played. I always like these revenge spots, especially when they are like this big, right? So the if you don't remember, the Brooklyn Nets, I think it was second leg of a back-to-back. They had just played against like Portland or like the Lakers. I think it was Portland though. And they played the Clippers and they took the biggest loss of the NBA season. No team has a bigger loss than them. They actually lost 126-67. They lost by 59 points. 59 points is the biggest margin of victory or defeat that we've seen so far this season. They're also coming off a 30-point loss. So nobody's going to want Brooklyn in this spot. I completely get it. They're also the worst offensive rated team in the last 5 games. I get it. I think that they're going to come and show some effort. like in this game here. We got the Clippers team that's only 14-21-1 against the number on the road. This is not the greatest team on the road. Brooklyn, even though they got smoked and lost by 30 to the Toronto Raptors the other day, it's still 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. Even though they failed to cover back-to-back games, they also didn't cover against Dallas. So a couple games in a row. But they're still 9-4 when they're playing on the first leg of a back-to-back as well, because they do got a game tomorrow. And like I said, 7-3 in their last 10 games. I'm looking at the matchup, right? And I'm like, all right. So if I can find a couple advantages for Brooklyn here, if it goes back up to, if I can find a 12.5, I might put a little something on it, or just take Brooklyn in the first quarter. So when I go through the matchup, the Clippers, a team that does not like bode that well for the way that Brooklyn plays. The Clippers offense they don't take a lot of shots at the rim. Like on the full season, last 5 games, they actually bottom 10 in rim frequency. And that's that's detrimental in this spot, because that's where Brooklyn gives it up a ton. Like they can't stop teams at the rim. They're bottom 10 full season, last 5 games, last 10 games. The Clippers don't shoot the ball there. Also, the Clippers don't really get out and run that much. And that's a weakness for the Nets. So it's some things that's kind of pointing towards the Brooklyn side of things here. Clippers also run a ton of ISO. They actually run more ISO than any other team. You see James Harden out there dribble left, right, left. Then he passes it or, tries to get to the rim. Brooklyn's actually the third best in opponent ISO efficiency on the full season as well. So there's some things that makes me really like Brooklyn here. I don't know if I want to play first half or full game or first quarter. I don't know if they can be able to stick with them for the whole entire game, but this just reminds me a little bit of kind of like Utah and Houston last night, where you got this team that really, really sucks, and we know Utah sucks, but they had been at home, and they end up getting the cover against a much better Houston team. Very, very similar line as well. Like I said, I know Brooklyn is trash. Nobody wants to bet them, but I think the Clippers could struggle here in this spot, honestly. If Brooklyn plays everybody, I think the Clippers could struggle here. So I'm looking towards Brooklyn. As far as the total goes, I do think it's more of an under game. Last game was 213.5. It did stay under the total. This total has been bet down already from 216.5 down to 215. I agree with the line movement coming down there. Last 5 games, the Clippers are 24th in pace. The Brooklyn, even though their offense sucks, like I said, they're the worst offensive rated team last 5 games. All they really do is stand around and shoot a bunch of threes. And they're shooting like bottom 5 from the 3-point line in their last 5 games. But they are still top 10 defensive rated team and the worst offensive rated team. So all of that tells me you're going to play defense. Your shot's not going to fall. I mean, under makes a lot of sense, especially with the Clippers being 24th in pace. And Brooklyn, you can't play slow enough for Brooklyn. Brooklyn loves playing slow. So I think we see the game go under, even though the total's pretty low. And I think that I would be leaning towards Brooklyn catching the points, either first quarter, first half, or full game. I have not made my mind up quite yet. If you like the Clippers, you do like that Brooklyn does not play well at home. They're 16-19 against the number. The Clippers are also 4-5 against the spread in their last 10. They've covered 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. They've also covered 7 of their last 10. They got the Cavs up next on Sunday, I think it is, but it's the non-divisional game. It's on Sunday. They also just beat the Cavs. So yeah, bunch of things that kind of point towards Brooklyn, in my opinion here. That's my thought process. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Clippers team total over for Tariq. Zubac. Brooklyn first quarter for Bryant. I might get there on that first quarter. Justin says he's going to play Jakob Poeltl double-double as well. Manny says I just got to take Jakob Poeltl over his points plus rebounds. Nally says Nets cover first quarter, Clippers full game. What's up, Octavia says I'm thinking about taking the Timberwolves and the Bucks on the money line. We haven't gotten there yet. Trying to stay in order. Zubac over his points. Watch Brooklyn Raptors, Claxton let Orlando Robinson do whatever he wanted. Mark says he played over. Dom says first half plus 7.5. I like it. Maybe it's first half under. If you watch the Knicks and the Clippers game, we didn't see a lot of scoring in that game until the second half. The Clippers offense really struggled in the first half, and defensively they weren't great either. So I think the Nets can cover early. I do think the Nets can cover early. I think you can get a first quarter plus 4.5. It is some juice attached to it, but that's probably the way that I'd be looking. GLB says he's taking Cam Johnson over 17.5 points as well. Helper Hand says I just can't lay 10 double digits as against the home team, especially if Harden is on the team. Harden's been looking pretty good, man. They did beat the Nets the other day, but the Nets won the second leg of a back-to-back. Brooklyn team total over for Hot TV Grits, over 101.5 on FanDuel. GLB says home teams off a loss of 30 or more, 19-5-1 to the over. Okay. Chad says tanking team free diet here. Good luck on the Nets. I can't. Some ugly dogs though, Chad. You typically like ugly dogs, Chad. Ugly dogs can cash, man. I really want to get there. I'm not sure if I will. It probably won't be for. I feel like Brooklyn's been covering full games too, though. Yeah, a little fat and happy spot here for the Clippers coming off a big win. You know, might have had a little fun in New York. No travel. Just got beat down by 60. You can get a plus 12.5 on ESPN bet. I think I'm going to bet the Clippers. I think I'm going to bet the Brooklyn Nets, man. Brooklyn just covered against the Pacers twice, the Celtics twice, the Hawks, the Cavs. Yeah, I'm going to take Brooklyn. Haven't bet it yet. I'm going to take Brooklyn, though. I will be on Brooklyn today. Dom says Clippers have a look ahead spot to Cleveland on Sunday. Could be a trap game for LA. I like it. Harden is back in Brooklyn, Sean. He is. Nets are 5-0 to the first half team total under last 5 games. I can see first half under for sure. Clippers play better at home. I just mentioned that, right? I know that they just covered, but the Clippers are, what did I say? 14-21-1 against the number on the road. Yeah. Squad bet the Nets, Justin says. Yeah, I like Nets, man. No college for me, Tariq. No college for me. I like the Nets, though. If the Nets were in college, I like the college Nets. I like the Nets today. All right, let's keep going. Suns and Timberwolves are up next. I'm be honest. This is a game I didn't really look too deeply into. I saw the number and I was like, yeah, I'll probably put it at about 7. I don't really know if I want to lay 7 with the Timberwolves, but we know for one, if this is not your first day watching basketball, you know the Timberwolves are the daddy to this Phoenix Suns team. KD is owned by Anthony Edwards. And then it's just a trickle-down effect after that. The Minnesota Timberwolves have beaten the Phoenix Suns 7 straight times. Going back to last year where they swept them in the playoffs, they haven't won a game this year against them. They've covered 6 of the last 7 spreads, have the Timberwolves, and they got the major rest advantage here. 3 days of rest since their last game, where they also lost as a favorite against the Indiana Pacers after Anthony Edwards got rolled into that game. They ended up losing that game outright. So, yeah, I feel like, you know, like maybe it's a little rush for the Timberwolves since they have been off for such a long time. But we just saw the Phoenix Suns play against a really good defensive team. And I do kind of think that the Minnesota Timberwolves are a really good defensive team. They got absolutely steamroll. And I'm not putting the Timberwolves on the same pedestal with the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics are, in my opinion, still the best team in the Eastern Conference. And in my opinion, also, you know, going to come out the East. So I'm not putting them on that same level, but I do think Minnesota coming off a loss. Phoenix, I know, has been playing a little bit better basketball, but they haven't won me any money because I haven't been really betting on them. You know what else they struggle with? Or at least we saw them really, really struggle with in that last game? We saw them struggle with 3-point defense. Anybody who watched the Boston Celtics knock down pretty much every 3-pointer that they shot. I think they shot a ton. I know they shot a ton. They made all of them. You know what Minnesota likes to do? Shoot a ton of threes, just like the Boston Celtics. So I think it's some matchup advantages here for Minnesota. Do I think that they win and cover? I'm not sure. Are they terrible at home laying points? Yes. Does not make me want to take them. Phoenix needs the game, of course, especially with Dallas winning last night, to put themselves ahead of Phoenix in the play-in tournament. Not play-in tournament, but the last play-in game spot in the Eastern Conference, in the Western Conference. So, yeah, I think Minnesota's going to shoot the leather off the basketball as far as 3-point shots. They are still 3rd in 3-point accuracy in their last 5 games. Phoenix defense, it's kind of Jekyll and Hyde in my opinion. So, I'm not really sure what I want to do with this game. Let's just look at it a little bit more. Phoenix is 27th in pace last 5 games. The Minnesota Timberwolves actually running a lot. They're third in pace in their last 5 games, fourth in defensive efficiency last 5 games. If we just look at it, I think I still might have it pulled up. Let's see. Dang, I saw. Oh no, you know what? I didn't do that. All right, so let's just look at this real quick, and then I'll go through the comments because I don't want to hold the show up too much on this game. All right, so if we look at the last 7 matchups between the two teams, last 10 matchups between the two teams, just going back to the beginning of last year, the last 7 games that have been played, the Timberwolves have gone up and over their team total in 5 of the 7 games. 420, 2024. All right, so the Timberwolves are, I said they're 6-1 against the number in their last 10 games. They're winning by an average of 7 points. They've covered all 3 spreads this season as well. They won by 8, they won by 3, and they've covered 2 of the spreads. They won by 3, they won by 8, they won by 18 in the most recent matchup. So triple revenge here for the Suns. I don't really think it matters. This kind of reminds me of like Memphis and OKC yesterday. But my point is that the Timberwolves have been able to score the basketball. They've averaged 118 points in this spot. This season, they've hit 120 in both games. They also scored 116 in the other game. Let's see what the team total is. 115.5, which is right. Exactly what we need them to get today. They scored 116 in the most recent matchup. The Suns only scored 98 points in that game. I also feel like the Suns been playing a lot more games recently than the Minnesota Timberwolves as well. So I don't know. I really don't know, honestly. Suns played this week. They played twice. Timberwolves played 2 games in the last week. Phoenix has played 3 games in the last week, and they have to travel. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm rambling, but I don't know. I really don't feel too confident on anything here. I have no idea, Captain Mutombo. I don't bet esports, so I don't know if they're donations or not, if I'm being honest. Justin played the Suns, put 7 in his pocket. He says, I'm new to ball. Book over his 25.5 points is a good look here. Nicholas says, Natalie also likes the Suns against the House of Disappointment. Wolves get up at home, laying the points with him, Jack says. So opposite look here. Onk says, what's good, Chris? Yesterday I got OKC last night. Alexander over his points. Rebounds and assists at 43.5, trying to figure it out tonight. Facts. Brian says he likes Phoenix plus 6.5. But you said Minnesota owns Phoenix. But Phoenix needs this game more. You know what I'll say to this, Brian? Because I do believe in like teams needing this game more. You know what the Phoenix needed? They've needed the last 7 games that they played against the Timberwolves. They needed game 1 last year in the playoffs. After you lose game 1, you need game 2 even more. After you lose game 2, you need game 3 even more. After you lose game 3, it's pride, right? Like, I can't get swept by this team. They needed that 4th one a lot more as well. They got swept last year. And then you start the season off knowing that you lost 4 games against them last year. So you need this one this year for a physical psyche. You lose that one too. So now we've lost 5 in a row. And then the next one comes and it's at home and you lose that one. And then you get another one in Phoenix. Remember the last time that they played, Bradley Beal actually had the foul where he got ejected for because Anthony Edwards was out there doing NBA All-Star, NBA slam dunk, in-game dunks against them. I mean, they just can't, for whatever reason, beat them. So I wish you guys all the best that's betting Phoenix today. I'm not touching Phoenix. I'm not touching Phoenix, man. I don't like going back to the same bet. Not like that. Not like that. G421 says and over his 3s. Chad says 7 is too many. Durant 30 plus points versus teams that are top 10 in defense, 3 to 5 to the over. Manny says, I was looking at KD points. He's over in 8 of his last 10, but I forgot the Wolves are the Wolves are his downfall. Yeah. Ant, for whatever reason, gets up when he plays against KD. And I think the rest of the guys going to follow as well. Let's see real quick. So the last time the Timberwolves at home, they were laying this touchdown. I'm reading this comment from Justin right here. He says, respectfully, laying a touchdown with the Wolves sounds crazy to me. And I get it. Last time they played, they were laying a touchdown. That was the game that they didn't cover. They were laying 7.5, total 18.5, and they won the game by 3. And then they go into Phoenix and they smoke them twice. So I could see that. Times that they played in the playoffs last year, they beat them by 25-12 in Minnesota. Okay. Yeah, I'm not betting the Suns, though. I'll be on the sideline here before I bet the Suns. And should go nuts. He said that he loves the matchup against. Yeah, and that's my point. Like, that's my point. I wish I didn't have to give it out, man. I love KD. KD's one of my probably top 5 favorite players, J-Man. But I mean, he gets owned by Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is his big brother, and it's crazy because he's been in the league for so much longer than Anthony Edwards. Dom says Phoenix need the game like I need $1 million, but won't get it. They needed the game against Boston the other day as well. I mean, all that needing the game stuff, like that don't come into play every single time, man. Does not come into play every single time. Orlando needed the game last night too. Atlanta needed the game last night too. Like that doesn't always come into play. Like sometimes it just don't. All right, let's go to the next one, man. Let's go to the next one. Phoenix is on the outside looking in right now. They are, I think they're in 11th because Dallas won last night. So with Dallas winning last night, that propelled Dallas because Houston, I mean, they just lost as well, right? Like, so yeah, Dallas won last night. Phoenix lost their last game to Boston. So Dallas is on the inside. And Phoenix is on the outside looking in, but it's only a half game in between. So we'll see. We shall see. Mark says, I'll be on the sideline with you, Chris. Yeah, it's maybe a live bet. Y'all know how I look at basketball games, man. I'm just, it's multi-complex here. And I do think the Timberwolves coming off a loss to the Pacers. They lost twice to the Pacers. I think they'll be motivated for this game as well. Probably got a bad taste in their mouth, but to all my people back in the Suns, like I wish y'all the best of luck. I'm not gonna be on the opposite side of y'all. I need to see it. Like you gotta prove it to me. Miami proved it to me. I kept betting Miami a couple games. It kept fading Miami. They proved it to me. I know a lot of people liked Atlanta last night. I said, nope, I'm off of it. Every time I bet against Miami, they always prove it to me. And I need to see Phoenix do something before I want to bet. I need to see them do something against the Timberwolves specifically. Minnesota is a very feisty, physical team, and those are the teams that Phoenix really struggle with too. So, yeah, easy sideline game for me. Next one we got up, the Knicks and the Bucks. It is a pick right now. I saw this open yesterday with the Bucks actually laying a point. I saw it flip to the Knicks laying a point. So kind of like an injury report game where you got to kind of wait and see who's going to play. We know that Deuce McBride's not going to play. We know that Campaign is not going to play, which I think is definitely going to hinder the offense for the Knicks. We just saw the Bucks, not the greatest situational spot here, but we just saw the Bucks play the Denver Nuggets really, really close. Of course, Denver never covers against anybody, but we just saw the Bucks play the Denver Nuggets really, really close in that last game. And yeah, still kind of a pick. It looks like some ones on DraftKings and a couple other books for the Knicks here. We'll see if Giannis actually plays. Giannis is on the injury report. Of course, Damian Lillard is out indefinitely with the blood clots. Get well, Dame. So we'll see what happens as far as the injury report goes. I still kind of think the Knicks are better than the Bucks. It is a triple revenge spot here. So let me get to my notes. The net. So if you like the Knicks, you like that the Milwaukee Bucks is their first game back home after a 5-game road trip. They will be traveling out of altitude in Denver as well, where they played that last game. But Giannis didn't play, right? So the Bucks defense has been a lot better recently. Of course, they couldn't stop Denver, but this Knicks offense is not great. we haven't seen the Knicks offense be great in quite a while, especially without Jalen Brunson. And now no Deuce McBride, no campaign. Like Josh Hart assists, I think something that instantly jumps off the page to me when I think about it. I didn't really look too deeply into it. I will take a look in just a second. We'll travel over to Outlier. If you like the Bucks in this spot, you like that the Knicks haven't been good on the road. Just 16-20 against the number. Milwaukee has been slightly profitable at home, 18-16-1. They're also 4-1 against the spread in their last 5, 7-3 against the spread in their last 10. And they got double in-season revenge. Knicks actually won and covered both games early this season, both by double digits as well. And the Knicks have won and covered 4 straight against the Bucks dating back to last season. So for whatever reason, the Knicks have owned the Bucks. I do think Cat is probably going to abuse Brook Lopez in this game, bring him out to the 3-point line, and just kind of leave some room for OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges to get downhill and attack the rim if they want to. It is third game in 4 nights for the Knicks as well. So it's a lot of conflicting things here, in my opinion. As far as the total goes, I think it is going the right way. Under, I'm not going to play it at 217.5, but it makes a ton of sense. It opened at 221.5, and 4 points have come in on the under. The Knicks have been a bottom 10 offensive rated team since Jalen Brunson got hurt. They're also playing slow. The Bucks have been playing a lot better defense. Potentially without Giannis, they also going need to really lock up here. And they got some defenders out there. Like Taurean Prince is not the worst defender. Damian Lillard being off the floor improves their defense. AJ Green is a pretty good defender. I'm not big on Kyle Kuzma or Brook Lopez, but Giannis can play defense if he does play as well. I kind of lean Knicks though. Like I think the Knicks still got enough to get the job done, even in Milwaukee. Even though the Bucks, like I said, got double digit in-season revenge here in this spot. So lean towards the Knicks. Probably not going to be on the game though. And like I said, you kind of got to wait and see what happens with Giannis as well. Let's see what we are thinking here. Oh yeah, the Bulls been proved it to me, G421. I have not bet against the Bulls in so long. Not betting against the Bulls. The Bulls probably gonna win the championship this year. I'm not betting against the Bulls. Not anytime soon. That was the first game back home after a 5-game road trip. I've seen enough. Lingowick says Knicks money line for me. Would also play Knicks -6 for plus money too. Waiting for Giannis to get ruled in to get better value. Knicks forever. That sounds like some fanboy stuff, Lingowick. I don't know if you just playing it because you like him. No. Justin likes under. We agreeing here, Justin. Manny says I'm gonna put Suns +10, Nets +16.5 in a little 2-leg. Might add a third. Brook Lopez threes for our lovers. Chad says shout out to them Bulls, man. Stay cashing. Yeah, that's 11 in a row for the Bulls. 11 in a row. Niley says Josh Hart double. Bucks money line. I'm betting it now. Knicks need my boy Jalen Brunson 2.0. Tariq says I got the Bucks. Contingent on Giannis. Trent over his threes. Jimmy says got a feeling about this one, so I took the home team. Knicks on back-to-back, and it's a revenge. Knicks not on back-to-back tonight. It's just 3rd and 4. Brian says I like under. Mark says Brian nice. I played Knicks +1 and under. LJ says Bucks first quarter. Knicks are not good early. Josh Hart triple-double +1100 for GLB. What up, Brian? Since he took Knicks on the money line as well. Tailing the capper, they tail the capper. I like that. Jabadas is going to the window with the first half under 110.5. I think this makes a ton of sense, at least for the game to start off slow. If it starts off slow, it'll be faster. It'll get faster, I think. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, slight lean towards the Knicks for me. You're gonna get a better number if Giannis gets ruled in. I guess I am kind of expecting Giannis to play after missing the last game. He had an extra day. We'll see though. We'll see. And I don't even think, did I make graphics for the other games? I didn't. So Golden State and New Orleans, like 14.5, like at 12.5, I thought it was a little bit too big. And pause. At 12.5, I thought the line was a little too big. But At 14.5, I'm definitely not laying with Golden State. I know that Steph being listed as questionable is, of course, impactful in this game. I know that CJ McCollum and Zion are both already ruled out. I'll probably be looking towards the under if Steph doesn't play. Golden State does have the worst offensive efficiency without Steph on the floor. I do think the Pelicans are going to struggle to score the basketball without CJ, without Zion as well. So probably a look towards the under, but it's not anything that I played. Real quick, I know what's his name? What's the guard name that shoots the ball really well? Jordan Hawkins. I saw him also get hurt a couple games ago. I know the Pelicans have a lot of rest in this spot as well. I'm not sure if Jordan Hawkins is going to be out there. Let's just double check. Yeah, it looks like he's off the injury report. So Jose Alvarado and Bruce Brown and Keenan Brooks and Kelly Olynyk and Misi, I'm good off of them. Golden State, of course, coming off that embarrassing loss to the Miami Heat the other day. And for all my people who watch the show, like some people who watch the show, but all my members that I send plays to, we got a Golden State win total at 43.5. We took the over. So we need Golden State to win 4 of their last, what do they have? They have 10 games left. So we need them to at least go 6-4 in the last 10. I won't be betting on a lot of Golden State games because of that. That's a pretty large bet for me. So yeah, I got them to make the playoffs and to get 44 wins. So I just need them to win the game. It's easy for me to stay off of this one. That's that game in a nutshell. The other game was the Utah and Denver game. Man, that number is 17.5, and I still wouldn't lay it with Denver. I know Utah's on the second leg of a back-to-back. The Denver Nuggets just don't cover big numbers, though. They just like almost like they're allergic. Like they're 3-1 to the over with the rest advantage as a home favorite because they just don't play defense. They're 5-0 to the over in their last 5 games, 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games. Utah is not a great offensive team. They're actually 7-4-1 to the under when they're playing unrested. They've also struggled to score the basketball recently, but it's only a look towards Utah. Like the bigger the number gets, the more like I want to put a little on Utah. They are 19-16 against the number on the road. Denver is just 16-19-1 against the spread at home, 1-5 against the number in their last 5. They almost lost to the Bucks without Giannis and Dame in the last game. Like it was kind of crazy. They had to go on an 8-0 run at the end of the game. They still didn't cover. They're only 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. Jamal Murray could potentially miss this game. Denver's 1-3 against the spread as a home favorite with more rest. So whatever reason, when Denver's in a great spot, they do not play well. Get them on the second leg of a back-to-back against a team they're supposed to lose against, and they'll beat them up really, really bad. So maybe even Utah early in this game. I just don't like what I'm seeing from Denver. They also got a big game against the Timberwolves coming up next, and they got triple revenge against the Timberwolves, if I'm not mistaken, as well. They've lost all 3 games against the Timberwolves already this season. So, yeah, I'm not looking towards the Denver Nuggets laying any kind of points. Maybe just a look towards the over. That's my thought process on that game. Tariq says he'll take the Wolves team total over. Moda talk. Mr. Flex said, whoa. Brian says, Mark, Chris, what do you guys think about the Denver third quarter? So Denver third quarter is not something I play before. I don't play it before the game, Brian. Like I'll play it if they're losing or they didn't cover the first quarter and first half. I'll play it. They were laying 4.5 in that last game against the Milwaukee Bucks, and I was trying to send it out. I'm not even playing it, but I was trying to send it out, and they were playing around with their food in that game. They were laying 4.5 to the Wizards. I mean, to the Bucks. They ended up covering. I think they won the third quarter 33-28. So they covered it by half a point. But yeah, Denver's just kind of going through it right now, man. They're going through the motions, and they've already beaten Utah 3 straight times. They own Utah. They always beat Utah by a whole bunch of points. But depending on the injury report, because Utah is on the second leg of a back-to-back, I'm just not laying this big of a number. It wouldn't surprise me if Denver even rested a player or 2 in this game, especially with the game against the Timberwolves coming up next. Tariq says Denver first quarter -5.5 and their full game over. I think we're on opposite sides there, Tariq, but don't let me talk you off. LG says Denver first quarter as well at home. Says it's cash. It must be Denver second quarter that suck because they'll be covering. They'll be covering in the first half, which is why they're such a good third quarter team. Nets first half for Indigo Baby. Yeah, I like that a lot. I do like that a lot. So those are the other two games I didn't make graphics for. I don't even think they warrant graphics. Let's go over to a quick recap. Because like I said, I have not made a bet yet today. The things that we just talked about that I do like a lot are going to be only looking towards Detroit. I see Detroit actually dropping to 4.5 now. So Detroit +5. I didn't bet it, but like I said, if Cleveland ends up ruling a player out or two, that number is going to drop even lower than 5. I just uptight that I didn't get a +9. Charlotte, Toronto. I think Toronto early is a really good look. Toronto first half minus the 3.5. I think Doms gave that out. Charlotte team total under. I think the number is 105.5. I will be looking towards that. The Clippers in Brooklyn. Do like Brooklyn, man. I like Brooklyn plus the 12.5. Maybe even a look towards Brooklyn first quarter as well. You can get a +4.5. Phoenix and Minnesota. I'll let y'all hide that one. I'm gonna chill on that one. Golden State and New Orleans. Clear pass for me. New York and Milwaukee. I'm not even gonna give y'all a look on that because I don't know if Giannis is gonna play. And then Utah, Denver. Depending on the injury report, I may put a little coin on Utah plus the 17.5. Denver's just not gonna be focused, man. So it's a lot of games on the board. I don't think it's a lot of I don't like the card. I hope you love the card. I don't love the card today though, but just sharing looks. Always doing the shows. Tomorrow, my son actually doesn't have soccer tomorrow. So I could do a show like at regular time tomorrow instead of doing it super early. But there are 7 games tomorrow. So 7 games tomorrow. I'll go through them and see if we can find some good spots. But yeah, that'll be the show for today. Check the resources out. All of them are listed here. I told you guys today, JaXon like Derrick Jones Jr. up and over 7.5 points. And it likes the over between the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets, which I guess I can see that. I'm not sure how many points Utah going to score, though. We'll see who actually plays for Utah. And really quickly before we sign out, I did want to go over. It was a player prop that I told you guys I was looking at that I didn't look into. Who was that? Anybody remember who that was? I do want to go over to Outlier really quickly and look at that player. It was what game was it? Josh Hart. That's who it was. I do want to see Josh Hart numbers. Specifically his assist numbers. I think that he's going to have a lot of usage today. So 6.5 is the number. It is plus 115. Let's see. So of course, let me minimize myself a little bit. So of course you can check out Outlier. There's a link in the description where you can get a 7-day free trial if you're interested in checking this software out. You can see that he's over in 5 of his 10 games so far this season. If we look at the games without Jalen Brunson, of course, he has played in 10 so far this season, and he's also over in 5 of 10 games. He's averaging 6.8 assists, and the Clippers are a really good defense. He was on the second leg of a back-to-back. I'll give him a little bit of a pass there. He only had 8 potential assists. Against the Dallas Mavericks, he had 11. That's a fast-paced team. The Wizards, he only had 2. They did blow the Wizards out. The Charlotte Hornets are a very slow-paced team. That was also a second leg of a back-to-back after losing to San Antonio. He had 6 on 13 potentials. So you can see he's averaging 11.5 potentials without Jalen Brunson being there. Now we think about this game with no Jalen Brunson and no campaign. Yeah, I just think it's going to be a lot more ball handling opportunities for Jalen Brunson. I mean, for Josh Hart. So I do like his assists up and over 6.5. I may even bet that. And what is his rebound prop at? Let's see. 9.5. He has been struggling to get the boards. Yeah, they're giving it up. They are giving up a lot of rebounds. The Bucks are on the full season. So rebounds plus assists, 15.5, only over in 4 of his last 10 without Jalen Brunson on the floor. Over in 4 of his last 10 as well. Yeah, I kind of like Josh Hart, even without the numbers supporting it a lot. I like Josh Hart today. I couldn't talk anybody off the double-double for sure. And the sprinkle on the triple-double, I think GLB said mentioned that. So, yeah, I think that's a very solid look. I do think that's a very solid look for sure. So, yeah, I guess I should have probably added that to the short list. But, yeah, if you're still watching, then you know that, that's somebody that I'm looking at. Josh Hart today up and over his assist prop. Best of luck on whatever it is that you are betting, man. We will be back tomorrow as we always are. Enjoy your Friday, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.